Hello friends, I am Ronnie Okuli, and today I'm going to talk about Skallagrim's recent video on weapon ownership in Canada with regard to restricted weapons and prohibited weapons. I will not be touching on the gun ownership regulations and everything he mentions, except to say restricted firearms, as he says, are generally handguns, and some of what I am going to talk about may apply because of that. The part that I'm mostly going to be concerned about is the concealment factor, which he mentions at about 15 minutes, that it seems to be a running theme in Canadian banned and prohibited weapons, that they don't want concealed weapons, things that are too short, designed to be concealed. One of the items he brings up is the constant companion, which is a knife designed to have a handle that is a belt buckle and is therefore hidden in that regard. Section 90 bracket 1 of the Criminal Code states, every person commits an offense who carries a weapon, a prohibited device, or any prohibited ammunition concealed, unless the person is authorized under the Firearms Act to carry it concealed. My criminal code says that this law was brought, or the current version of it was brought into place in about 1995. I was curious about what came first, that law or the ban list. And upon looking at the banned items list, which he shows himself, that is available on a government website, it was put together in 1998. This indicates that the ban list was made possibly in response to this law being put together. And a lot of the items, especially the concealed items, may be on that list to use as a specific reference for this law, as opposed to doing everything on a case-by-case basis. What the law also means is one of the items he does bring up, the sword cane, while it may be legal to own one, carrying it with you is still a concealed weapon. It is designed to be a weapon. It is designed to be concealed. And if you are caught with it by the police, you would be charged under Section 91 of the Criminal Code. Another item that he brings up is the spiked wristband. While not a concealed item, he does bring up that he has seen them for sale. Qualifications of spiked might be reliant on their length and sharpness, whereas most of the wristbands I have seen on sale and that I have personally seen people wearing have been studs, which are definitely not anything that could be dangerous. One of the other things that he brings up are tear gas, mace, powders, and any liquid that could be used to immobilize, kill, or incapacitate any individual. Part of the reason these are not legal items in Canada, even though many of them are considered less lethal alternatives for law enforcement, is in part because of Canada signing a treaty. It's one version of it is commonly known as the Geneva Convention, which prevents us from using any kind of chemical item. The Canadian military especially is prohibited from using these items in any type of situation. Even though the military does not, the police services, including the RCMP, have used the items in the past, and they are used as a last resort. Also worth mentioning that the National Post has published an article indicating that many international studies have found that approximately 53 out of 1,925 victims of non-lethal or less lethal methods, such as tear gas and mace and rubber bullets, have actually died from their injuries. That comes to about 2.75%. If these were standard use, especially among citizens, 2.75% for an item that is marketed as less lethal is not a safe estimate. It would be rampant use, and a lot of people would end up injured or killed because of those marketing strategies. I have not particularly corrected any of the information Skallagrim has provided, and that's because I agree with most of his information, or I don't have the basis to know anything about it, like with firearms. As I mentioned, I didn't want to touch on them too much because I am not an aficionado and I do not have the background in that in those items to make any comments. I just wanted to expand on what he had already provided, as either he may not have known about it, or it was not presented due to time restrictions. Thank you.